Okay, we're live. But will it work? Will it human work? Okay. Bear with us, everyone. Bear with us. Bear with
Are
us.
we live, sir?
We're live in some places, but not all places.
I really like showing this off behind me, but I'm so dark.
Yeah.
I'm a gremlin. Did I hear they're doing a Schmeagol movie, by the way? Is that real? Did you see that?
Well, clearly I'm going to watch that. And we are live.
We're live
everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Everybody.
Woo!
Welcome.
Woo! We did it.
Amazing.
We did it. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope this stream finds you all doing very well.
Yes.
And we have some stuff to bring to you on this Monday version of an emergency podcast.
We do.
And yeah, I mean, so it's definitely interesting doing it this way because to see the Facebook group numbers, we have to look in the Facebook group. We cannot see them right here on the screen.
Let me pull it up on my phone so we can. I want to be able to talk to you guys.
So we can see the comments. I'm looking at the comments right now, so make sure to drop a comment, you guys, in the comment section.
Oh, you did the old at everyone. We're getting all the homies in here.
I did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. Everyone. Don't apologize.
Okay. I'm glad because I'm not really sorry. Yeah, guys, we just have we have some stuff to talk to you guys about. You know, I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about AEP and just kind of providing what we're seeing as an AEP update. We also want to talk to you guys about freaking Black Friday offer that we got for you guys that I'm, for one, am super, super excited about. I think it's going to be a tremendous opportunity for a lot of people. Let's start with AEP, shall we?
How about we mention what's going on with Black Friday?
Okay.
Get into AEP, then we'll get deeper into Black Friday. How's that sound?
Yes. Let's do it. So earlier in this year, guys, when we merged, when we came together like two pieces of a puzzle.
Christian's on one today. I apologize in advance, you guys. He's on a whole nother level. This is AEP Christian. You haven't seen Christian like this before.
That's right. I usually don't, let you guys see me. I kind of hide out like a hermit this deep into AEP.
This is the real one. This is the real Christian. So buckle up. Seatbelts, everybody.
Around that time, we changed seven-figure Medicare University to be only available on a month-to-month subscription basis. Now, there were several times throughout the year where we made it temporarily available for a one-time offer, but it was few and far between in terms of the time frames that we made that available. Well, we've made a decision that after kind of, trying it out for the year, seeing, how we feel like it is value-wise for our members, we feel like it is infinitely more value for people when they buy it once and have it forever, right? So there's so many people that bought this university for all different types of prices that are on my weekly calls, basically January through the end of September, and they might have paid like $300, $400, $500 for it, years ago, and they're still reaping the benefits on the calls every week and everything like that. And so we're bringing it back to where it is available for a lump sum purchase. It is normally, after this Black Friday promotion is over, going to be in the ballpark of about 5 big ones, five G's. But we're giving it at 80% off for Black Friday. So for the next, 9 days, 10 days, it'll be $997 and $97.
About 8 days from right now, you guys. So behind me, I have it pulled up. I've got a screen behind me here. So, originally it was six. It actually used to be Six Figure University. It's been upgraded. It's Seven Figure U now. So the URL is sevenfigureu.com.
Mm-hmm.
Once you sign up, this is what it looks like once you get in. So this is the original university that Christian put together. Over 150 videos, some incredible content. He's updated it, curated it, some incredible stuff that we're going to actually get kind of deeper into this week, let you guys know exactly what's in the Seven Figure University, such as seminars in a box, exactly what to do to have a successful seminar, yes. Christian presenting a successful Medicare seminar, Facebook advertising, all sorts of paid advertising, how to do it, the compliance around it. And then some really great sales training as well for those of you who are either new or maybe you're looking for something different. Even if you've been doing it for a while, I think we can all kind of pick up tips and scripts from other people. Some really, really great sales training. Now, this is my course that I had put together that comes from my book, How to Qualify, Present, and Sell Final Expense and Medicare Supplements to Seniors. You can find that book on Amazon. This is a 50 video course in and of itself of not just myself, but also a collective of more than 50 different licensed agents who are successful in the field, their contributions and some scripting and tips of what they say and what their sales process looks like. So collective, just between these two courses, you have over 200 videos, tens of hours. I think it might actually be over 100 hours just between these two courses alone. Now we have a third series that we've added, and this is the plan for Seven Figure University moving forward. So if you become a lifetime member, you will see this continue to grow, and you don't have to pay anything. You continue to get more and more content. You get the weekly calls, so that's every single week, but you also get access to more training as it comes out and is available. So this is all around Seven Figure University, which is our white label of Go High Level. So even if you're not using our white label of Go High Level and you just want to learn more about Go High Level, that can be super beneficial for someone that's new to it. You're trying to set it up for yourself or for your agency. So all together with all of these videos we have in Seven Figure University right now, you're looking at more than 250 videos, over 100 hours of content, and it's only $9.97 right now. So for the cost of 2 true ups, right? 2 new clients, and you're getting all of this information. I think the value is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, 2 true ups puts you in the green at that point, right? Like Glenn was saying, right? There is those 3 courses, you get all together in one. In Seven Figure Medicare University, one thing we've really put focus on over the last year to 2 years in the content is high level agency building training that you need to know. So for example, right, like how do you hire? How do you build systems and structures internally, right? How do you pay less in taxes, right? How do you keep your business in order, organized, right? How do you train? How do you train internally, right? How do you duplicate your efforts effectively? Sales training, high-level marketing training, like you said, seminars in the box, right? Typically the calls, that's a great question.
I will say really fast, I do want to say too, the seminars, we have some of our downline agents who almost exclusively produce using seminars, some of which may have literally gotten the training from Seven Figure University. Unbelievable. I was looking at our commission reporting that we got today that went to downline agents. Unbelievable what the seminar agents are doing out there this AET. So hats off to those of you who are crushing seminars right now.
That training literally tells you A to Z what to do, how to find a venue, how to market it, what's it going to cost, what presentation to use, what we put at their table, how we come up with a menu, everything. And then like Glenn said, there's an actual recording of me doing a seminar from start to finish in front of a room full of seniors, which did very well, by the way. That's a great question, Nicole. What days and times are the weekly calls? Well, the weekly calls are typically We don't do them during AEP. So basically from October to the end of the year, we take those times off because realistically, if you have time to attend my trainings during AEP, there's something seriously wrong. But they're Thursdays at noon Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, typically. And we're planning on starting those back up again in January.
Great question.
Yeah, guys. And as we go, drop questions in the chat, as we go. We're going to circle back around to the university, but let's dive into some AEP conversation. Let's dive into some AEP conversation. So interesting things going on, right? This AEP has no nonstop twists and turns as all the way through. I received a call last week from a contact about essentially the situation going on right now that more or less could be impacting agents from now to the end of AEP. Someone posted about it the other day, but essentially it's, auto plan renewals. So what I mean by that is when someone's canceled on a plan, which this year there's a record number of beneficiaries losing their plan, right? There's over 2 million. Right. If CMS sees that they're not having a plan auto-selected or they're having a plan selected, they auto-assign them a PDP, very similarly to when someone has Medicare and Medicaid at the same time. They do that to prevent them from getting a late enrollment penalty. And sometimes CMS has glitches in their systems, right? Fancy that. CMS having a problem internally.
Never. The government?
And
glitch in the government? That's not possible.
So let me paint a picture for you, right? Glenn is going out to help Martha. Martha is losing her plan in 2025. No. October 15th, you write her on a new plan. But the wires don't connect. The wires don't cross with good old CM in the S, all right? And so they think...
I'm like a sign language interpreter over here as you go through your story.
CMS takes a look at this and they're like, well, poor Martha. She's going to get a late enrollment penalty, an LEP, son, if we don't put her on a PDP. There's an auto-enroll. PDP goes into effect. Glenn's app, what happens to it? Bye-bye. It's gone. We're hearing about situations that are more of that happening. It happens a little bit every AEP, but it's such an insignificant amount that you just don't hear that much about it. But it's happening more this AEP than any AEP ever. So guys, you got to be tracking your apps. The moral of the story is you got to find some time, even if it's on the weekend. If you're back to back on appointments, you got to be checking your enrollment statuses and making sure this isn't happening to you, because if you don't catch it, that person might end up on a PDP permanently, Yeah, it's a real problem. It's a real problem. Agents losing enrollments through no fault of their own, through our good old overlords at CMS.
That's interesting. I wasn't aware of that specifically, but it makes sense. It makes sense based on what I've seen happen previously. The other huge topic of conversation that we could discuss right now that we haven't had a chance to really talk to the community about is, drum roll, Dr. Oz, everybody, our new CMS commissioner, Oprah Winfrey.
Since when did this group become about politics?
Our new CMS commissioner overlord, who was created by none other than Oprah Winfrey. I say created by Oprah Winfrey because I have very specific memories of, if I was sick and I stayed home from school, or if I got home from school early and my mom's watching TV and Oprah comes on, and it was always oh, Dr. Oz is on today. And, his little health special. And then he got his own show after Oprah.
Yep.
And then he did that for a while. And I think it's been really polarizing so far. He hasn't even done anything. He's not even in power yet, right? He's just been announced, right? He he hasn't been able to do anything. He won't be able to do anything until the new the new administration actually takes office in February. But he's already been super polarizing. There's been all sorts of commentary from our audience, from other people in other groups. Oh, this is going to be the best thing that's ever happened. Oh, he's going to destroy Medicare. Oh, he really cares about seniors' health, and he's going to make all the Medicare beneficiaries healthy. All sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff all over the spectrum.
Gonna make them all healthy. How's he gonna
He's gonna make them all. Everyone's getting on a training program.
As the CMS commissioner, he's gonna make them all healthy.
Everyone gets a gym membership, or you have to attend a virtual class with Dr. Oz. He's doing like Tai Chi with all the seniors. I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting, but I guess I'd be curious to know if you're watching this stream, whether you're watching it live or watching the replay, and you want to drop a comment below on what you think is gonna happen when Dr. Oz does take office in February. Christian, what are your thoughts? Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz from good old Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well, I think it's absolutely repulsive, Glenn, that you're making me talk about politics in this group. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
I can't get enough of that, right? So, Dr. Oz, I think the fact of the matter is, I will give you kind of my early thoughts based on, what I know. But the fact of the matter is, I don't know that much about what's going to happen. And neither does anyone else. If someone's claiming that they know exactly what kind of change he's going to bring to CMS, there's no way they can possibly know, right? Like Dr. Oz's political career in government can be, traced back to when he ran as a senator, right? I think I originally said governor in a previous conversation, and you corrected me. So senator, sorry.
That's why you can't talk about politics.
I know I can't talk about. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about. Don't listen to him, guys. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
But so 2022, right? He's running for this. He's doing the senator race in Pennsylvania, and at that time, ultimately, there's a race that he lost, I believe. But at that time, he starts kind of leaking out some of his beliefs, and there's several things that have caused people to be alarmed, and then on the flip side, other people to be encouraged by what they're going to get. Things like, he stated publicly that he's very pro Medicare Advantage. That's probably a good thing. Strengthening the program. I think right now we're seeing a place where overall this AEP, you're probably seeing more detraction from Medicare Advantage, right? Because of Inflation Reduction Act and, benefits being cut, plans being dropped, et cetera. And so I think that's probably a positive thing, right? Unless you only sell Medicare supplements, to which that's a horrible thing for you because you're going to go out of business, son. If you strengthening Medicare Advantage, MedSups keeps going up. It's just inevitable, right? It's the death of 1,000 cuts. But then on the flip side, there's quotes of him, saying that he supports like a Medicare for all system. Now, Medicare for all is a very blurred definition of what that really means, depending on who you talk to, right?
Right.
In some cases, it's a model where all private, individual health insurance policies are Medicare Advantage like for people of all ages. That'd probably be a great thing for us.
That would explode right. I've heard that many times from many people. It's like Medicare Advantage, it'd explode the industry overnight. Like we'd be, on a tidal wave.
Yes, but on the flip side, right? If it means the, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren definition, right? It means one payer system. Ultimately, no one really knows quite yet, but I would say just based on what I do know, I think it's probably going to be a step in the right direction and an improvement from our commissioner now, because let's face it, anyone is. And that's kind of my attitude and my stance towards it. And so, I think we'll just have to wait and see, but that's kind of my early reaction to it.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for positive change. I will say that. I'm withholding, I think, any specific thoughts. I think a lot of you are making some big jumps, big conclusion. Like whether you think you're basing it off, again, like Christian said, like you can try to go through some sound bites of things he's said historically and try to jump to conclusions. And maybe there's some validity to that, maybe not. I think I do agree with Christian though. My bottom line is I don't know how it could get worse. I don't know how he could come in and make things worse than what we've been through the past couple of years. And again, that's not, I don't feel like that's just me and Christian saying that. Like when I see the comments about the regulation and the rule changes over the past, 2-3 years, it seems like most of us are feeling that same squeeze, from CMS.
When Mussolini is removed from power, do you want? Are you too busy worrying about who replaces him? No, you're just happy that Mussolini's gone and his body's being dragged through the streets of Hungary. I think that's what happened. I went to history class.
Oh, and there it goes. Demonetization across all platforms.
No, I think, I've been saying ever since we started getting hit with our, at this point, yearly final rule, that each one is more daunting and extreme and outrageous than the last. Again, right, we're 3 years of a yearly final rule every year, like clockwork. And I think ever since that started for multiple years now, especially also when the Inflation Reduction Act dropped, I've been stating that I believe we have just this absolute Nazi of a CMS commissioner. And I don't think it's good for any of us. I don't think that's political, by the way, for me to say that. Some of you guys get so worked up about me having conversations in the group about our CMS commissioner. It has nothing to do with politics, guys.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. It has to
do with how the business operates.
It has to do with what can you do? How much can you grow?
Yeah.
Right? What's the steps and the hoops you have to jump through in order to grow? And that's a relevant and reasonable conversation to have in a group full of 10,000 Medicare agents. So some of you guys just are out of your mind, just because and now it's a domino effect of the election, right? I have been voting and rooting for since the beginning for years now, and I've been saying it publicly for years, that we need a new CMS commissioner. I was one of the first people to publicly point out that the CMS commissioner was directly appointed by the president. I don't remember anyone saying that publicly before me. I've been saying that for years now. Now it's like every other post, because it's a hot topic. But it's kind of like TRICARE. I teach you all how to do TRICARE, and now everyone is an expert at it. You know what I mean? TRICARE, of course, by the way, built into that one behind Mr. Shelton, Mr. Glenn Shelton there. But no, I think that's kind of my attitude towards it. Is when an evil dictator is tormenting the citizens, when they get removed from power, they celebrate and they cheer. They're not thinking, who's the next person going to be better? They're thinking, no, I get to eat. I get bread now.
Yeah, I think I think everyone should take this as hope, as hope for the future. I think there's a lot of positive changes coming up. I think interest rates look like they're on the horizon of coming down. Again, that's good for all businesses, including, our industry, right? I think we'll potentially see some regulations rolled back. I think, we'll probably continue to see, I think, Medicare really continue to grow in a great way. I did want to mention a comment here from Mr. Zach Paskey. Shout out to Zach. We already have Medicare for all. ACA might as well be Medicare Advantage. What do you think of that?
Fair enough. Yeah,
I'd say so.
I think they're very similar models, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I've been saying this for years as well. CMS and the carriers, everyone that is in charge of making these decisions, their long-term goal is what they want is managed care. ACA and Medicare Advantage are examples of managed care, right? And I think that is long term where we're going. I think that's been the case for some time. I think the longer we go, you're going to see market share for Medicare Advantage go up and Medicare Supplement go down. I just think we're going to continue to see that, and we've seen that, right? We've seen the new enrollment numbers shrink on one side and grow on the other. I love Medicare Supplements. If we could do nothing but Medicare Supplements, sign me up. But that's not the future and the reality we live in.
Right.
Even the most diehard Medicare Advantage haters out there offer it to their clients now.
Yeah, the calls that I've gotten over the past 24 months of some of the, like you said, the most hateful MA producers I worked with over the past decade, with almost their tail between their legs, Hey, we're starting to do Medicare Advantage. It's more of a retention thing. We're not like trying to sell Medicare Advantage. It's like, come on. Like, everyone has to offer Medicare Advantage now. As a Medicare producer, you can't not offer Medicare Advantage. That's just the world we live in. I think the other thing that would be worth discussing here, I'm trying to see if we have any other questions I missed. Another thing that would be great for talking as we go through this kind of AEP update, right? We're coming up on the end of AEP. What we've already seen is the non-commissionable plans, right? That was a huge thing that happened. I know we already, I think, discussed this a bit previously on our last stream, but just some of the continued fallout, I guess, is really what we've seen happen over the past several weeks. And honestly, as big of a deal as it is, and I'm not trying to downplay non-commissionable plans. I think it's atrocious that carriers want agents to do work without getting paid. I'm completely against that in every way. And if you've historically ever seen me discuss it, that's my stance on this whole situation. But the flip side of it is the Chicken Littles out there, which I got accosted for calling agents Chicken Littles before, but I'm going to stick with it. I love it. There's Chicken Littles in the group. There's Chicken Littles. You guys, one thing happens and you think the sky is falling. You're like, this is it. It's over. I've gotten emails from some of you guys where you're like, plans are non-commissionable now. I'm done. I'm out. And then Christian and I, with one agent specific, I want to mention this specifically. This agent is literally, in my opinion, it sounded like he's ready to get out of the business, this individual. Christian and I took the time to go through the counties that they were working to see how many commissionable plans still existed. There were over 29 different commissionable options.
Even though 4 non.
Yeah. So it's like, where's your mindset at, you guys? Like, what's your headspace? Well, when something like that happens, and if it's that easy, if that much turmoil, if that much of a change is going to cause you to be like, I'm done, I'm out. Good luck. Because there's a lot of change that happens. There's going to be a lot of turmoil. There always is. But if your mindset is the second one plan's non-commissionable, I need to get out of the industry, you're just not seeing it right, in my opinion.
And now, a lot of the carriers have had a chance to come out and publicly kind of state their opinion, and kind of some of the reasoning, some of which we already knew.
Right.
But, if you guys haven't seen the video we did with one of the executives over at Cigna, Elizabeth, she wanted, they wanted to make a public statement about it. So, we did a video with them and they kind of, talked about the non-commissionable plans and the reasoning behind it and everything like that. And at the end of the day, these carriers are kind of, as crazy as it is, they're kind of learning on the fly in terms of this new structure of, profitability with their plans with the Inflation Reduction Act, right? So they're going to AEP and they're seeing just their projections be way off in terms of they're just getting way more business on a certain plan than they're thinking, and they're just it's killing them. So they literally don't want business on those plans. That's the purpose of the suppression of said plan. They don't want the apps.
They have, correct me if I'm wrong here, but by law, don't they have to be profitable? Because again, the government's like, you need to be able to pay out claims, right? That was my understanding, is that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if they're not profitable, what's the point of doing anything?
right.
Like they're not charities, they're for-profit businesses.
Right.
It's just like I've talked about, for some agents in the group, they operate and act like they're a soup kitchen, but they don't operate at all with the thought process of, I'm a business, I need to operate like a business.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's really what it is, guys. And the carriers, they don't want the apps for those specific plans. It's a net negative for them, and so they're trying to do everything they can to stop the apps from coming. And it's such a small amount of plans. There's been non-commissionable plans for years. There's always been. There's more non-commissionable plans now than there've ever been, but there's also more plans than there's ever been too.
Yeah, that was the other. For me personally, that was one of the big eye-opening experiences as we're going through this. Is again, the news comes out that there's these plans that are going non-commissionable, and then I'm seeing that certain markets have like 80 plans in them, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, we probably need by attrition. Probably need to get rid of a few of these options. Like, yeah, I don't get. I think it was the Houston market in particular that had just an unbelievable amount of plans. I can't remember the number offhand. I'll probably butcher it if I say any specific number, but yeah, less is more, you guys.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, I mean, it's definitely been an AEP for the ages. For any of you on the East Coast, you've had natural disasters, hurricanes. I mean, this has been a wild AEP. Anytime I say that, there's someone that pops up being like, we're doing good. We're doing good. And I'm like, I'm not saying we're not doing good. I'm just paying attention to what's going on. It's our biggest AEP ever by a mile.
Yeah. 100% on all sides.
I'm not saying we're not doing good, but I'm paying attention. Like, it's weird. It's weird the world we live in today,
I mean, the election, right? So that's always a whole nother thing. I mean, again, from the marketing side of the business, you guys, the election's a big deal just because it's a huge distraction, I think, to everyone, especially seniors who are like the largest voting block of all demographics, So yeah, there's been a lot of moving parts this AEP, and I'm actually super pumped that we're coming to the end of it for many reasons. But I'm just looking ahead and thinking next AEP is probably going to be awesome because a lot of this stuff will probably be better. I mean, we don't have a presidential election. There's not even a midterm election. There will be no elections at all next AEP. And I am looking forward to that in a big way. Someone commented we have almost 100 plans. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Almost 100 options. Like, how as an agent can you even be an expert on 100 different plans? Like, that's ridiculous. So like, if you're in Houston and you're trying to offer plans and there's 100 plans and 20 of them go non-commissionable, who cares? Like, just stop offering those plans. Look at the ones that are commissionable. Those are the ones you should be offering. There's a great question here in the comments. And again, you guys, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, if you have a question about anything that we're discussing or something that's even unrelated, feel free to drop it in the comments. We'll try to get to it before we end the stream. Or if it's after the stream, we'll try to respond to it in the comments. I'm a captive agent. This comes from Nora Plank. Shout out to Nora. I'm a captive agent licensed in 26 states. It's been hard this AEP, making me think about going 1099. Any tips on deciding on staying captive versus going full 1099? What do you think, Christian?
Reading the comment over just to make sure I understand the question properly. Captive agent.
My understanding, again, so if you're captive with a singular carrier, right? Some people have different verbiage of captive, like they're a captive broker with an agency. But my understanding of what you're saying is that you are a captive agent with a singular carrier. It's probably harder than ever to not be a broker with this many changes going on. And I don't know what carrier you're specifically captive with, but even if it's a great carrier, if you're depending on the markets, I mean, you're in 26 states, so there's a lot of different markets, but some markets, it's probably really, really hard to do business with just that one carrier because either they're not competitive, maybe those plans by that carrier in that market, majority did go non-commissionable. There's all these different variables where if you're a broker and you're representing many different carriers, it just gives you that much more of an advantage. So, again, your compensation is probably going to look completely different. If you're captive, maybe you have some type of base pay. I don't know. If you're 1099, you kill what you eat, right? You're 100% commission at that point. But it's a no-brainer, in my opinion. If I had to really offer this advice to you or to anybody who's watching this, I think going 1099 and being 100% commission-based was the best thing that I have ever done. In my insurance career. And for the majority of you, I think it's a great thing to do. Maybe for some of you, if you have a base pay and you're not looking at really trying to grow your agency, grow your business, and you really just want to be a part of another organization, some of you that might be a good fit. But I think for the majority of you, a 1099 position is a great option.
So the advice I would give, if you're looking to make the jump from captive with a carrier, looks like it was Humana, to independent is, and it's been several years since I've known a ton of intimate details about how captive positions with Humana work specifically. So I'm assuming they're giving you leads and things like that. Walk into it with the expectation. Anytime I talk to anybody that leaves not just a captive position, but they leave a call center, they leave as an LOA position, anything like that, they're used to being provided and fed business, right? And I think the biggest shell shock for most agents, if that is the case, is that you're not fed anything. You're starting from zero, nobody knows you, and it's completely solely on you to bring business to the table. A lot of agents don't struggle with making a good presentation or being compliant or anything like that. A lot of agents struggle with being able to get in front of enough people to sell enough policies to be able to pay their bills. That to me is why the fail rate is so high. Because
such a great segue too, right?
Yes.
For the university.
Absolutely. And so I would walk into it with the attitude of, from day one, all business that you bring on and acquire is going to cost you either time or money. Glenn and I have talked about this ad nauseating detail over the years on streams and videos, but it doesn't change the reality that it's one of the two. You have one of two things to give, time or money. And what do you have more to give? Typically, when you're first starting out, it's definitely not the money, unless you're a trust fund baby or you've saved up well or anything like that. It's time, right? So I'm going to talk to local businesses. I'm going to try to build referral partners. I'm going to try to get just activity going, activity, and making sure that I'm talking to enough people. Too many people just sit around waiting for someone to call them or waiting for something to happen. So as an independent, that is the number one thing that you need to walk into at the expectation of, and just making sure you have enough leads because no one's handing them to you when you're independent.
Yeah, I think this is a good time to circle back on the Black Friday promotion we have going on this week, you guys. So starting today until next Monday, so technically that's Cyber Monday, December 2nd at midnight, this will go away. We have an 80% discount on the Seven Figure University. Seven Figure University has over 250 videos on all sorts of topics. If you are looking to transition from being a captive agent to being a 1099 broker, this is a huge opportunity for you to invest in yourself, in your education, and knowing all different sides of the business. Just like Christian said, most agents, if you've been selling for any sort of number of time, any sort of amount of time, you probably know how to make a presentation. But when it comes to your ability to generate leads for yourself, when it comes to compliance, there's so much to know, right? There's so much to understand in the business. So there's a chance that you might not know everything that you need to be successful. So I highly recommend, I think I clicked on a specific course. I was trying to get to where we can scroll through all of these. So again, software, that's another great one too. It's like when you transition out, you might have a whole set of software that you're using. Your stack might be completely different when you go 1099. So understanding certain software like your CRM, Facebook leads, sales training, referrals, marketing, cross-selling, insurance carriers. This is a huge one, right? You're going from one carrier to potentially a dozen carriers, growing an agency. If you want to build an internal agency or a downline, Medicare supplement sales, it goes on and on and on. And this is just the meat of it. We still have 2 other completely additional courses included with this. It's a one-time payment, $997, 80% off the normal $5,000 it costs for lifetime access. Highly, highly, highly recommend taking advantage of this now while we have it discounted for this Black Friday blowout sale. Christian, anything else you want to say about the university?
Yeah. Guys, the university, on Seven Figure Medicare University, portion of it, it's something that I've been putting together and just trying to add to and improve and update for almost 5 years now. It's getting close to 5 years because we're 2025. And, it's a resource that I could not tell you how many agents. If you go on the website, you see just a laundry list of reviews of people that have gotten into it. And there's a lot of agents that have worked with us or they've paid for it that, I talk to agents all the time that they're like, it was a huge part and a huge, factor in transforming my business, transforming my career. I think what I love about it is we don't just teach on things that we did 10 years ago. A lot of trainings that you get into, that's really what it is. They're not actively doing what they're teaching anymore, or it's just carrier trainings. They bring in a carrier rep to do a training that you could probably have them do yourself for free, whatever the case might be. And, we're teaching on things we're actively doing, right? In the agency, we're testing everything out internally, whether it be branding, whether it be marketing, whether it be business structure, whether it be sales, whether it be cross-selling, whatever the case might be. And then we're bringing our results to you guys, so it's very inner circle-esque from that standpoint. It's highly recommend you guys get in on it while you can. Again, after Black Friday, it goes up, from being 80% off to full price. And
that's right.
Yeah. And it's one and done. There's no yearly subscriptions or fees or anything like that. So once you're in it permanently.
I don't know what else you could want from an educational platform. I mean, it's essentially like college for insurance agents, and you can take it online at your own pace and become a doctor of Medicare sales. And that's what Christian's offering you, his decade of knowledge, over a decade, our collective multiple decades of knowledge in this industry that we've really boiled down, and it's continually being added to for the cost of just 2 sales, which I'm telling you right now, we would be essentially willing to guarantee you that this has a value well beyond 2 sales. So, we really are trying to help elevate those of you who are looking to learn and want to become better at what you're doing, at being an agent. So, that being said, Christian, any other final thoughts for our AEP update stream Black Friday promo?
Yeah, guys. I mean, every time we do one of these, and I mean every time, there's always somebody that reaches out to me a couple days after it ends, being like, "Can I get it? I didn't see this. I wasn't on Facebook, blah, 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 blah." Don't be that person, because typically the answer is no. Because if we did that, people could just show up whenever they wanted and get in on an offer. We try to make these special for you guys because, we want to be able to offer them, but we can't offer them at those reduced prices all the time around the clock, right? We have to offer them for what they're worth. And this is definitely worth it. But from time to time, we want to get back to you guys, to the community. So just make sure to get in on it, take advantage of it, and reach out if you have any questions.
That's right. Timer's right there on the website. URL is sevenfigureu.com, sebenfigureu.com. You can take a look at, what's all included in this. You can see what other agents have said about the course. We have a bunch of super positive feedback. Get a little preview. And again, Black Friday, this is only good for the next week. So really appreciate your time as always, Mr. Brindle. Guys, drop #team replay if you're watching the replay. Again, if you have questions or comments about anything, feel free to ask away. And until next time, happy selling, happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys have a wonderful end of AEP.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
next time.